Mud flood in a nutshell. Introduction. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Napoleon Bonaparte. Mud flood theory posits a worldwide mud flood in the early 19th century, and that it buried a previous civilization. We, according to this theory, have been given a false history in order to conceal this catastrophe. The theory suggests there was both a catastrophe and an intentional conspiracy to cover it up. This mysterious topic has piqued the interest of people all over the world, and the evidence presented for it is quite compelling. This obviously raises many more questions than it answers. Mud flood research will have you asking questions you never would have asked before. It will challenge your assumptions about the reliability of historical narratives. Mud flood theory is not an all-encompassing explanation. It's an invitation to question everything you thought you knew about history. The mud flood theory involves deception. It also posits that the former civilization enjoyed a high-tech lifestyle with sophisticated construction methods not in use today. Many cities around the world with notable instances of mud flood-affected buildings tend to have corresponding historic fires or other natural disasters. These events, like all else, deserve a second look. This is followed up with the modern city being constructed literally atop the previous city's ruins. This is a consistent pattern across the world. To name a few of these apparent mud flood affected cities: Seattle, Boston, Oklahoma City, Syracuse, Washington, D.C., Moscow, Paris, and Cairo. These and others are known to have catacombs, abandoned subway tunnels, and veritable underground cities. Researchers and proponents of the mud flood event and subsequent deception surrounding the event place it around 200 years ago, but no firm or perfect reconstruction of our lost timeline has been agreed upon. Mud flood evidence, architecture. There appears to be evidence of hidden history in architecture. Evidence of mud flood is most apparent when one begins to look at the architecture and buildings in virtually any large populated cities. Just find buildings of a certain age that appear to have all or part of their original ground floor stories embedded below the ground. Indications of mud flood affected buildings are windows and partial windows visible at ground level. Oftentimes, these are bricked over. Such windows, when not covered over, are termed daylight windows, with the explanation that they are being used for bringing light into the basement. Such basements are usually only half buried below the ground, and very often not uniformly, which reinforces an impression of a flow of material past a building or area. Many wonder if the mud flood is the same as the biblical flood that cleansed the earth of all the wicked and spared God's chosen family. Flood myths are ubiquitous, appearing in stories and legends everywhere. Several historical occurrences have been linked to a possible mud flood event, including the Tunguska airburst meteor and volcanic eruptions at Santorini and Pompeii. It is not clear whether these events are natural disasters of a random but cataclysmic nature or caused by a technology unknown to us today. Researchers have pointed out that St. Petersburg, Russia, ancient Greece, Rome, and Italy, the Great Pyramids of Egypt, and more are all said to have been rediscovered. It's worth noting that these places were physically unearthed by people of the times immediately following the posited mud flood event. Was a previous civilization actually wiped out by such an event, or events following or preceding it? Things still unknown to us. Further research: new self-organized communities are forming on social media all the time, such as the Mud Flood Society. Connect with and become a part of it at Discord by visiting mudfloodsociety.org or on YouTube at mudfloodsociety.com.